I'm Melissa Ortiz.
I'm Camila Ramon. And this is Hasta
Hasta
Abajo, baby.
Abajo.
We're back.
And we're in your apartment.
We are in our apartment, in my apartment. You're more than welcome to move in whenever you'd like.
Thank you. I don't want to pay rent though, so.
Our setup is actually insane. I'm pretty much locked into my L-shaped couch. Like there's no way for me to get out unless I like hop over like 3,000 pieces of equipment. I also have my hair curly today, which is not a normal kind of situation. I just went to a curly hair event yesterday. And what else?
You got inspired by the curls. Usually my hair is more curlier, and today it's straight.
Yeah,
Girl, what's going on? What's going on?
And that's on hair health.
Yes.
Anyway, you guys know that we like to catch up before we get into things. We already started with that. Meli's drinking cafecito that I made for her. How's it like? Because I know you're a cafecito snob.
Well, I love that it says Miami Mami. Miami
yes.
Mami, because that's what I am now.
You are a Miami Mami. And I just finished a matcha latte.
Honestly, this is a really good cup of coffee.
Really?
Girl.
Okay.
You got
Bravo.
You got barista potential.
Okay. It's not me. It's the machine. Let's be real. Let's be real. I just want to give a shout out to Meli because she's been flying back and forth for all these interviews to New York City. You just came up again. Like,
I know. I ain't complaining, but my hat does say New York or nowhere, baby. So I guess it's on brand, right?
Right.
I have New York on my head and Miami on my cup. Like,
I'm obsessed.
I guess I'm just like a bi-city girly.
She is a bi.
But really.
And honestly, I've been trying to convince her to hang out with me more often. Clearly you're already welcome to live in my apartment. She was just in Puerto Rico.
I was. Oh my gosh, we need to catch up because you were there too. So yeah. I'll tell you really quickly about my Puerto Rico trip, which was unreal. So my husband is Puerto Rican, born and raised in Santurce for all you Puerto Rican listeners. And what was so special about this trip is that I've been back to PR like 10 times or so. Uh-huh. And this one was cool because it felt like we almost lived there. Like, not lived there, but meaning we didn't do like the hotel thing at first. Like we stayed at his, family house. Yeah. We worked from there for a bit.
That's the way to do it.
Uh-huh. We went to go play paddle. If any of you play paddle or padel, however you say this word, that sport, I love it.
Is that how they pronounce it?
Padel in Spanish.
Oh.
Yeah. In English, I get kind of confused. I'm not sure if it's paddle or padel. Yeah, I don't know. We'll
Sounds fancy.
We'll Google
Too
it.
fancy for me. To me, it's paddle.
And then I came up to New York for 48 hours. I saw you. We interviewed Capo.
I know. If you guys haven't listened to that episode, you need to listen immediately. Like, Meli and I keep talking about it. We're like, we need to go back just to take away some of these nuggets that this guy was saying that were so amazingly positive and inspiring. Like, I'm going to be listening to that one on repeat. That's 100%. That's a must listen if you skipped it, just in case.
Definitely go back to that episode.
But what was your favorite part about Puerto Rico?
I'll tell you. So as soon as I got back from that interview that we did with Capo, and I did a Global Citizen, I hosted a panel for Global Citizen, which was super cool.
Wait, who was in your panel again?
Hugh Jackman. Who, by the way...
Cami Meli.
Who, by the way...
Es mi amiga.
He's so tall.
I thought you were going to say hot.
I mean, that too. No, he's awesome. He's such a lovely guy. So humble. Just has like really great energy.
Yeah.
So it was a really fun event to be able to host the panel with the CEO of Global Citizen. Mm-hmm. And I got back, and this is my favorite part about the Puerto Rico trip. We went to Culebra. Culebra is an island, part of Puerto Rico, but off of the main island of Puerto Rico. And you have to either take a little avioneta, a little plane with propellers.
I could never.
And I already know your story because you're not doing that again.
Yeah, in DR, I was traumatized and I will never get back on one of those mosquito planes. I have no business being on there.
No.
And neither do you.
No.
Avoid.
At all costs. I'm like scared of those little planes. So I will happily sit my ass on a ferry for an hour and a half.
Tranquilita.
I'll risk getting seasick. I'll risk that. Like, I don't care. Like a little vom here and there, but it's okay. I'm just kidding. I didn't.
Well, you made it.
I made it.
Without puking.
So it was awesome. I went with a group of friends, and y'all, if you ever go to Puerto Rico, or say, for instance, this summer, because Bad Bunny's tour, his residency is in
we need to figure out the date.
We're going. You definitely need to make Culebra part of that trip to Puerto Rico. It is absolutely beautiful. It's one of the best beaches in the world, like proven, #facts. Pristine waters. It's literally, you're living on island time and island life. And that was just amazing. And you know what else was my favorite part?
What?
you know, when you're just at the beach and you're like obviously wishing for no clouds in the sky, just sun, just, you know.
It poured on you and you lived your best life. Honestly,
it poured.
If there's no lightning, I'm down.
Exactly. There wasn't any lightning, and it was one of the most like calming, most relaxing. The waters were crazy, like still kind of clear, and we like just soaked it in as it poured. And oh God, I love that. That's like Mama Pachamama, however you call it, Pachamama. That's also just like you being grounded and like in like I don't know, in nature. And I needed that. Yeah. Anyways, tell me about your Puerto Rico trip.
Oh, I went to Puerto Rico with Peloton, and I finally got to teach an in-person like live class at the Me, Myself, and I event. It was absolutely incredible. I just remember like people putting their arms up, and like I saw like 800 hands go up, and my heart dropped. It was like a dream come true, just like connecting with everybody in La Isla, and everyone there is so nice. Like people in Puerto Rico are like a vibe. Like shout out to your cultura, because you are not criados mal criados, mal aprendidos. Like y'all are just like on point. But yeah, that was really, really incredible. I've been traveling a lot back and forth within the last couple of months. Obviously now you guys have seen that we dropped some Miami Scenic content on Peloton, which was really dope. And yeah, that's
you know what's so cool about your event that you did in Puerto Rico with Peloton?
What?
Because I went to Puerto Rico like 10 days after, which kind of sucks because we just missed each other and we were trying to make it work. But I was hanging out with some friends and they were like, oh my gosh, you're friends with Camila Ramon, blah, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, they're like, we were just at her event. It was so amazing. And y'all, guess what they told me? They told me that when they released like the announcement of the event, that there was going to be a Peloton event in Puerto Rico, as soon as they released Camila's name, that she was going to fly down for it, they had to change venues to make it larger because so many more people like signed up because of you, girl.
I love you guys.
Yeah, they literally told me that
again for the 15,000th time this week. It's been a rough week, but we're in here.
I know.
Oh my God. I'm so grateful for every single person that I met out there, and like everyone was absolutely incredible. It was just so great to connect with people, and it's just a surreal moment because I remember like about to go on stage and I was like, ¿Dónde están las perras responsables de Puerto Rico? And they were all like, ah! And I was like, todas. Wow, like these are my people. Because like you forget, because you're like behind a screen and you're like never see people IRL.
Yeah.
And it was just like so dope to be like, okay, this is my people. Like they get me, they understand.
Oh,
it was.
We gotta do an event sometime.
Yeah. Would you guys like that?
Would you?
Hasta Abajo event? I think it would. We would turn up.
I think we would turn up. I don't think I know.
Yeah, but I don't want to say it like that because here's my thing. When I go out, if I'm like, oh, we're going in, then I get crazy. But if I'm like, oh no, I'm just gonna be mad chill tonight.
It's gonna be cute.
Then it'll be normal. So I'm gonna be super chill at our potentially future Hasta Abajo event.
Yeah.
Me voy a portar bien como una señorita. Mami, si estás escuchando esto, no te preocupes.
Sí, claro. Sí, claro.
Cut to a video of me twerking upside down at the club.
Literally. That's all I want.
LOL. And I actually got to live out a childhood dream.
Yes. Talk about it.
We went to the Shakira
that one,
concert.
because you've done two really cool things. Okay, the Shakira. We'll talk Shakira.
Well, Meli and I were like, are you going to Shakira? And then we were like, oh, we really want to go. So then I all of a sudden got an email in my inbox. I was like, do you want to walk out with Shakira at her concert? And I said, excuse me? I would love to walk out with Shakira at her concert.
I was like, I didn't get that email.
You mean this little baby girl, Camilita Ramon, that had one CD called ¿Dónde están los ladrones? I've told this story a million times.
Yeah, but keep saying it.
¿Dónde están los ladrones? And when I left from Argentina and I immigrated to the United States, I had that one CD and I would listen to it. I had a CD player. Listen to it back to back while I was saying bye to my abuelitos, crying on the plane, crying. I was a very sad girl because I was just ripped away from my family. And then when I came to the United States and I was just like living in like my parents' friend's house for the first like couple of months, I was just like listening to that CD. Yeah. And I got to meet her. Mind you, she had done a 70-person like paid fan meet and greet before the 50-person like VIP meet and greet that we were in. So she had her, and she was already 45 minutes late to her show.
This is before the show.
Before the show, which is insane. Like,
insane.
I can't even, because the amount of attention that you have to give people as like you're meeting them, like you don't want to be like disconnected or like rude or anything. Like you want to give people time.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine before and her show was long, physically, mentally, like demanding. She had like 18,000 outfit changes, which were all increíble.
Crazy.
Insane.
Yes.
So I walked up to her and the words didn't come out.
They didn't?
No, I was like, I just want to tell her like, ¿dónde están los ladrones? I was like, I don't know what I told her in the beginning. I was like, ¿te puedo abrazar? And she was like, yeah. But I felt weird invading her space, so I kind of did an air hug. Like I didn't squeeze her. You know? I was like, I don't want to do that to you. You don't know me.
Yeah, yeah.
And you probably have that happen to you so many times that you're like, I could just imagine her. She's like, I don't want to get sick. This bitch has germs. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to get you sick. I love you. But I like hugged her like openly, respectfully. And then we took a picture. My hair.
It intertwined.
Like Avatar.
With her.
We became one. And my hip was against her hip. The most famous, iconic hips in the entire universe, in this universe, and every parallel universe. Like, there is no way that Shakira's hips are not the most famous and iconic ones. And then on my way out, I was like, ¿Dónde están los ladrones? Me cambió la vida. And then she was like, ay, ay. And then they were like, go, Camila. Thank you so much, Camila. Like, get out of here.
Okay,
and I was like,
Camila.
okay, bye. And then we like ran around. And we had to wear these like silver ponchos. So we like put on the silver ponchos. No, we didn't put on the silver ponchos. The girl was like, where? The girl that was supposed to like take us, we lost her. So then all of a sudden we see her. She's like, hurry. Shakira was already there, ready to walk out. And I didn't even have my poncho on. So I was like, I need my poncho. I was like, I'm going to miss my opportunity to walk out with Shakira. I was like, where's my poncho? Until finally they gave us the poncho. But the ponchos were folded up like flat.
Oh my God.
And stuck together because it was like a plastic.
Yeah.
So I was like, trying to be calm.
Yeah.
And then I put my poncho on and then the hood was like attached to my forehead. I was like, can you fix me?
Dad.
And the glasses were like these silver glasses, and you actually couldn't see anything. Like, so, and then I saw Robin, so I like, literally grabbed Robin's hand because I was like, I cannot see. Period.
So you couldn't see through those?
I couldn't see in front of me. No, like a little bit.
Oh, okay.
But like, there's so many lights. Like, I don't know how the other girls could see.
Yeah.
So then I just like grabbed Robin's hand and I was like, vaya con Dios. If I fall, I fall. But we didn't fall. Yeah. We made it.
Yes.
And it was a dream come true for this little girl. And then I went up to you and I was like, hey, Meli. I was like, and we had a drink and I was dancing with your mom because it was your mom's birthday.
It was your mom's birthday. Yeah. I'm so proud of you, honestly, because I know how much you love Shakira.
I love her.
Like once Cami and I were in the car in Miami, just driving, and we were like, just singing out loud to music as one does, as friends do in the car. And she puts on Shakira playlist, and she was like word for word, lyric by lyric, just like belting out Shakira songs. And like, I know a lot of songs by Shakira, but the old ones, I don't know all the lyrics to those ones. And so I know how much Shakira means to you. Yeah. And for you to have that moment, it's just like full circle, right?
She's not everything. I always said like, there's two people that I like really would like die to meet. One of them was Shakira.
Who's the other one?
And I met her. Messi.
Which you met. Let's try to make that happen.
And you touched his shoulder.
And you touched her hips. But yeah, so then at the Shakira concert, you told me you were like, I'm walking on stage, whatever. And so the best
Meli's the biggest hype girl you've ever met in your life. The video that you sent me is so iconic. I posted it. It's on my Instagram.
I know.
Like, she was like, that's my friend. You got the best angle, the best shot.
Girl, I stood up on chairs to get that angle. Okay. I risked my life. But the perfect part was that shout out Live Nation and shout out to WME. Like they offered me the tickets. Yeah. And it all came through just perfectly because where my seats were on the floor, it was right next to where you passed. Yeah. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And then so like Cami said afterwards, she came by, she said hi to my parents, me and my husband, and we had a drink together. And then we were dancing, we were singing.
We were screaming at the top of our lungs.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Screaming at the top of our
lungs. What a night. If Shakira's still on tour and you guys are debating on whether to go, don't debate it.
No, you need to
go.
And to be honest with you, when the show first started, I was like, I feel like for such a big artist, like she should have like a little bit more going on, like the production. Like I was like, maybe she needs like, I don't know, like a bigger wolf head or like something that she's like comes out. But then that's when she was doing like her newer like pop kind of stuff. Yeah. But then towards the end, she really like she was really, it was just her. Like her dancers were gone. It was just her. She doesn't need anybody else.
No.
She started doing her Shakira thing. The hips were moving.
Oh my God.
The hair was flying. She was doing this move where she like lifts her boobs up in the air.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's the new move that I'm going to be doing at the club. No, she literally goes like this.
Okay,
and, like,
sorry, I couldn't do it. Oh yeah, I saw that one. Yeah,
she like smacks her boobs up. And I'm like, iconic. One more time.
I'm dead.
And did you see the Karol G documentary?
Girl, did I see it?
Did you cry?
No, I cried.
That bitch went into the Hudson though.
Yeah, that was kind of gross.
I saw that and I was like,
Caro,
mamita.
Caro, por favor. Like, no hagas eso, por favor. Okay, I was like,
ooh. I saw it in New York and literally the crowd at the same time, they were all like,
because if you are from or live in New York, like, you ain't putting a finger in the Hudson.
No. She's like, the next day I was sick and I had to perform. I was like, I wonder why, girl.
Literally.
No, but she's another one that's like so beyond inspiring.
Mm-hmm.
I went to her premiere. I finished class at 6:30.
Yep.
I got into the car at 6:40. 6:33 actually, because we had a 2-minute stretch.
How'd you do that?
By the time I ran out, I just had everything like ready.
Yeah.
And like a blow dried. My left armpit really stunk by the end of the night, but it was fine.
Did you only apply to your right, or was your left just more sweaty?
This one just, I don't know. My left armpit smells. And
Sometimes that happens to me too. No joke. Actually, not like TMI, but at the Shakira concert, I had like this sheer long sleeve. You know,
it was beautiful.
Thank you, Maji. Shout out to Maji. Colombian made bathing suits. It actually is a bathing suit, but I wear it as a top. It's like sheer and like no joke. If you know, there's some shirts or materials that just like, it will collect your stank.
That's the material that my dress was made out of. It was like a mesh material. Yeah.
That was my mesh.
So I was like saying what's up to Fercho and my fucking armpit stank. Like, what?
You're like, what's up, Fercho? No, but that was me. Like, I'd be like this at the concert with my right, and then my left, I was like, oh shit, my left.
No, you were good.
Thank you.
We were all sweaty.
Yeah, sure.
Well, today's little cafecito chat, we had a lot to catch up on. We still have more to catch up on, but we got to get into the nitty gritty. So today we're going to be talking about overcoming injury, right? Which we both have a lot to talk about, but stay where you're at. We got some more after the break. Okay, today we're talking about the wear and tear of athletes, whether it be a futbolista like Meli, basketball player, baseball player, softball, literally a fitness instructor person like myself who I'm teaching nonstop pretty much every day of the week. Mm-hmm. We all go through phases where we're feeling our body is a little debilitated. Maybe we have a more intense or chronic or acute injury, and we have to perform at a high level still, or find ways to come back as quickly as we can, or mentally deal with the process of an injury.
Yeah. Cami, you've dealt with injuries. I've dealt with injuries. And even as latest recent news, there's been a lot of major injuries that have been going on in different perspective sports, be it basketball, soccer, of course, like you said, volleyball, you name it. And even big names. And I think there's been a big highlight and emphasis in terms of why female athletes are getting injured, more specifically tearing their ACLs at a
Yes. You mentioned that this is related to your hormones.
Yes. And I'll tell you why.
And more likely to happen during your period. Mm-hmm. As if we needed anything else to worry about while
literally
we bleed out.
But seriously, it almost hurts just thinking about all that we have to go through. But some significant names or examples, Chelsea FC's Sam Kerr, she's still recovering from her ACL tear. Kristen Press, who plays for Angel City, she tore hers in 2022. It took her
2 years, right? Yeah.
2 years, 4 surgeries to recover from that. When guys, usually when you tear your ACL, and knock on wood, I need wood. Do you have any wood? I need wood. Oh shoot!
Right here.
Okay.
By association.
Okay. Usually when you tear your ACL, it takes around 12 months, like 12 to 14 months to recover. However, there could be a bunch of like either relapses, there could be infections, there could be, improper healing, scar tissue. A lot of things can come up when you do get injured, be it your ACL. Oh, I got wood. Thank you, Cami. It was really important because I played soccer this morning, and that's like a big fear.
I felt it in your heart. I was like, I gotta find this.
I was already sweating. And so, yeah, there could be a bunch of instances or occasions where you think maybe an ACL tear is going to be 1 year, but a lot of things can happen. Marta, for instance, also suffered an ACL tear. She is the Brazilian legend soccer player. Cameron Brinks, who is a WNBA rookie, suffered an ACL tear last year in June. Juju Watkins, who also suffered an ACL tear in March. She is University of Southern California's one of their best sophomores players and one of her best seasons so far since arriving to the university. And to have to go through, you know, a major injury like that is a huge setback, not only for the program, but also for the NCAA.
Yeah.
So where I want to go with this is just, you know, there has been a lack of studies, lack of importance, lack of research as to why so many ACL tears happen to female athletes. We've known this for such a long time as athletes that women do suffer ACL tears more than men.
At a higher percentage,
yeah. But now, of course, because, you know, women's sports is getting more coverage, there's been a lot more backing in terms of money being given to research programs as to why this is happening. Thankfully, one of the examples is Michelle Kang. She owns the Washington Spirit. She owns Olympique Lyonnais women. She owns London City women. They're all soccer clubs. And she has invested millions and millions of dollars so that more medical research goes into figuring out why it's happening, but also how can we make it more preventative?
Yeah.
Okay? And one of the things that you mentioned, Cami, was hormones.
Yeah.
So that's actually a really great point that you brought up, because obviously when you're going through, you know, a cycle, your hormones
fluctuations.
Yeah. You know, you go through estrogen, higher estrogen, lower estrogen, whatever is going on throughout your cycle. And estrogen actually can affect the ligaments, and it actually potentially increases the laxity or the looseness of your ligaments in your knees, which is insane.
That happens naturally too. Like as when you get pregnant.
Yes.
Like your body prepares so that your literal bones can expand.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we limit ourselves during like pregnancy training to like remove things that require high impacts, because you lose stability in your joints for sure.
Yeah.
So I could only imagine, like, when we're regularly fluctuating, there's still those like same hormones flowing through our body.
Yeah.
When those fluctuations happen, we have a higher propensity to get injured in that way. And then also something that I'm reading is that the anatomical differences between men and women. Like, I look at my husband, Luciano, we both ran cross country. He was always able to run faster than me. His anatomy is built differently. Mm-hmm. Like, I look at myself in the mirror next to him, his hips are so different from mine.
Yes.
His quad ratio is like to hamstring ratio is so different from mine. So that also supposedly leads to a higher percentage.
Yeah. And like you said, like the anatomy. So women's hips, like the way that your hips are shaped and go inwards, or however your body is built, can also affect that, where men's hips aren't built like that, because obviously, you know, we as women will or do carry babies, you know? So another reason why this has happened so much for female athletes is because there's been a lack, not only of studies, as I mentioned, but also a lack of like strength training, preventative programs for female athletes from, you know, youth age to current day, which there has to be a bigger emphasis in terms of youth sports, schools, you know, remember when you go to PE, like you would just go out and play. Yeah.
You just like do a couple jumping jacks and then they're like, okay, go out to the field.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, when you're a kid is fine because you are just more nimble and less likely to be injured. But as life progresses and we stop stretching, we stop moving as often, we're sitting down at our desk from 9 to 5. And then, or maybe not, maybe you're an athlete, but also like our bodies, like, movement takes a toll on the body as well, especially if you're not focusing on recovery and you're not doing strength training leading up to it. I think one of the things that I'm like very proud, I know one of the things that I'm very proud of like that we do at Peloton, for example, is we have strength programs that are like strength for runners, strength for golfers,
I've taken them.
Strength for soccer players. So we have those things that we offer because we know the importance of it. And I am primarily a cardio forward girly, which within itself leads to a lot of overuse injuries that I've had to deal with over my life that we'll get into a little bit later. Yeah. But one of the things that I always say is like, you want to run faster and you want to run for the rest of your life. Like you have to be doing strength training and you have to be moving throughout all planes of motion. You can't just be going front and back your entire life. And
I think you landed on a really great talking point, which is strength training. If y'all want to prevent these type of injuries as much as possible, please strength train. And like Cami mentioned, your quad to hamstring ratio is very different. Everyone's different. Some people have, stronger hamstrings than quads, or stronger quads and hamstrings. And actually, when I was a professional soccer player, they would really tell us, we would do so many hamstring exercises because you already are quads are set dominant, especially as a soccer player. And so we would do so many eccentric strength training exercises for our hamstrings, because that's what's really strength. And when you have that, that's what's really weak. When you have that imbalance between those muscles, that is what happens, what could really lead to sometimes getting ACL tears or muscle injuries. So guys, thankfully we are in an era where there's a lot of studies being done, and hopefully like this is something that's going to keep on being researched and studied, and hopefully find more preventative ways so that female athletes aren't suffering these injuries more frequently.
That's a very devastating injury or diagnosis to receive, like ACL tear.
Truly.
So any preventative measures that we can take to make the life better for these athletes that are already like, working against all odds to like make it in these fields is very important. And even if you're not a pro athlete, like these conversations are important, because you might still be a woman on the other side playing sport, looking to get fit, and hearing this should motivate you to make sure that you're doing the things that you need to do. Strength training, recovery, stretching, all these preventative measures so that this never happens to you. And even if it does, do not worry. You do come back from it, which we'll get into a little bit later. But as of right now, we're going to pop to break, but stay with us. Welcome back to the show, everybody. We've been talking about injuries, and my girl Meli, pobrecita, she suffered a big injury right before a huge event.
I did.
To say the least.
I did. Let's just say it was incredibly heartbreaking. I tore my Achilles 5 days before the FIFA Women's World Cup, the 2015 one. Honestly, it was like the last big tournament that was on my bucket list to perform in or to compete in. And like I was dealing with Achilles tendonitis for 6 months. And what's really effed up about the whole situation is that FIFA Women's World Cup was played on turf in Canada, which would never happen in the men's game, by the way. And it was a lawsuit against FIFA as well. But anyways, the whole tournament was played on turf. So before the tournament actually started, our national team was training on turf because we had to get used to the way the ball, bounces, moves, passes, everything. Because it's different than playing on, it's different playing on artificial grass than natural grass. So the really high impact, the turf, it really like messes up your joints. And so I had been complaining to my team doctors for quite a while and saying my Achilles, both of them are really hurting. And, they just because it was the women's team and not the men's team, they were like, oh yeah, just like ice, heat, massage, like nothing major. Like they never sent me to actually get tested or have a MRI or whatever it is.
And you guys also had such limited resources.
Yeah, for sure. Like we weren't even getting paid. So yeah, like it sucked obviously because it was my dream. It was everything I worked for. I was at the peak of my career. I was playing the best, I think football in that position I had been playing ever. I was peaking. Like I said, I had offers to play professionally in Japan right after the World Cup. And it wasn't just the Women's World Cup. It was also the Pan American Games, which I got left off the roster for, which was the month after that. So yeah, I had to deal with that. And when I tell you, I was at the lowest of my lows ever.
Yeah. You're one of the most positive people that I have met in my life. Meli is just always positive. Like I'm
I try
not the
to be.
same. I admire that about her, but I can only imagine how
was
devastating a moment like that.
It was bad. Yeah.
How did you deal with your mindset? Like, did you go to therapy?
I did a little bit of therapy, more towards the latter end of my recovery, because I was, you know, you get back to from injury, and you have to have faith in like your rehab, like that you have strong muscles again, that your Achilles isn't going to re-tear.
Yeah.
So I actually had to work with a sports psychologist to like really like hone in on my mental strength to be like, you're going to be fine. Yeah. Like your acceleration, your touches, your sprints, your tackles, like everything, you're like, nothing's going to happen. You're going to be fine. But I had to work through that. But I want to say this is that like, whenever you're going through obviously something hard in life, or like an injury, it's so cliche to sometimes say this, but like everything happens for a reason.
And that's where you met your mans.
And for me, that reason was love, which is crazy because I had just broken up with my boyfriend of that time of 5 years. Mm-hmm. And I was a month single, but like more just fully focused in on the World Cup.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm playing World Cup. I'm going to go play internationally afterwards. Like that's what I want to dedicate now, like to. I don't want to be hung up over like this breakup and la tusa, whatever. But when the world came crashing down on me and I, obviously tore my Achilles, I was really depressed because obviously I missed out on the World Cup, on the Pan American Games. And I was like, oh my God, I don't have a boyfriend anymore. Right. Like, it's just like you're missing
everything. Happened at the same time.
Yeah. But
it's
life,
like when your personal and your professional life both like kind of crumble at the same time, that's when you really hit a low.
That was me. Yeah. But y'all, things happen for a reason.
She opened her dating app.
I did open a dating app.
And she swiped. Which way do you swipe nowadays?
Swipe.
Because I don't know about. I was never on the app.
Swipe left. Swipe right. No, swipe right. Swipe right. So you swipe right if you like them, right? Swipe left if it's just a pass. It's just a pass. I think. Anyway,
right seems right. Like right seems the right way to go.
Yeah.
So she swiped
right
and found
the right man.
The right man. Yeah, and the one and only came to rescue you.
Yes, I did. So
and the right one. And you guys are like perfect for each other. She like came out her room the other day and she was like, she's like, find yourself a man who watches women's sports. He was just like watching.
Yes. It's amazing how life works in like such mysterious ways, and like you don't know it at the time what you're going through. You don't see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Right.
And I've told him this many times, like he was that light at the end of my tunnel. And when we eventually got married, years later, I was like, in our wedding day, I was like, I love you so much. Things happen for a reason. I'm like, but you owe me a World Cup.
Literally.
But yeah, we did meet on a dating app, which is crazy to say.
But I have a question about your mindset, because what was it that you told yourself that got you through that moment? Because like you can go low and stay there, and like it's very tough to like get out of there and also like rebuild your mindset. But what did you tell yourself when you were in that low moment that got you out of there?
I remember like already putting a goal, like being super goal oriented. Like I'm like, okay, I'm on day 1 of recovery. I can't even walk. Like I was in crutches for 3 months, and I remember just setting my goal, and that goal was to get back and play in the Olympics. But like, even if Olympics hadn't been that goal, it would have been like, okay, my goal is to run, and I would do like mini goals. So it's like, okay, my goal is
take one step.
No, literally like put your foot on the floor. I couldn't even put my foot on the floor. And then like, it was like, that was already like scoring a goal. And then like my next goal was like, okay, to walk, then to run, then to drive, because I couldn't drive for 3 months. And then, you know what I mean? But honestly, like through it all, my family they were so great. They were incredible support. Music for me was everything at the time, because it just like made me feel happier. It made me also feel like really ingrained in my culture, and like being with the national team, because like, the national team, we listened to so much music. What was so cute was when I met my, then boyfriend, now husband, off dating app, we weren't even like, we were just chatting. And like he had known that I was injured and all that stuff. And he made me a playlist. He made me an injury playlist. And it was, what was it called? Like, it was called Merengazo con la pata coja. That's what it was called. Yeah.
That's so cute.
And it was all like merengue. And he knew, because it's so embarrassing. I had a scooter because I was in a boot. And so I had a scooter and I had a basket on my scooter. and I had like a little boombox, little stereo in my basket. I would like go around the house or like the neighborhood, whatever. And so I would put the playlist in my basket on the scooter, and that was happiness for me.
Yeah.
So you just have to find like certain outlets that will like ignite that type of like light in you, whether that's through your family, whether it's like your culture, like music, whether that's, I don't know, through finding a new hobby. And that's some of the things that like I did through that time. And I'm so grateful that life worked how it lifed and brought me love in a way that like I never thought I knew at the time when I was so depressed.
Yeah.
So,
and you're allowed to be down. Like,
yeah,
nobody's saying like, oh, you get injured, like you have to find a goal the next day. Like, take your time, feel like shit if you have to feel like shit, but like know there's an out, and there's like so many things, especially as you continue to rehab and take care of yourself. Like, there's so many other things that you can do. And I think that's one of the things that I focused on as well. With, I've never had an injury as serious as the one that you had, but I've had a lot, I've dealt with a lot of like overuse stuff. Like, I had a really bad knee when I was training for my marathon that I had to postpone my races for. I honestly found out that I have an extra bone in my foot, and running has always been my life. Like, the other day we were doing like a summit, and one of the questions was like, how many bones does the human body have? And like my friend Andy Spear, my fellow instructor, was like 206, and I was like 207.
That's right.
I'm like, I have an extra bone, thank you so much. So I've been running on this ankle. Like, I ran cross country, track and field in middle school and in high school, and then I kept dancing, and I was like, oh, but I just have a bad ankle because it's also like my turning leg from dance. So you're always like using that ankle to go on releve or on your toes. And I was just like, oh, I just have like a unstable bad ankle. And then I started running again. This year I ran 2 marathons, a lot of half marathons. And then this year I was like training for, not this year, sorry. Last year I was training for another half. And then all of a sudden I was like, my ankle pain is so bad.
Yeah.
It was so bad. I went through like plantar fasciitis as well, but I was like, my ankle pain is so bad. Like, I would wake up in the morning and I'd be like limping, and then I would have to go teach class. And that's a lot of things that like people who take our classes, they don't know, because we are athletes. At the end of the day, we're teaching class every day. Yeah. Like nonstop. And if you can't teach class, then you're not working. Right. You know what I mean? So it's like tough. And more so mentally, because you feel like you want to be there and you want to be supporting people, but you also have to take time for yourself, because also like that's like my favorite thing to do. Just like you love playing football, like I love teaching class and like running with you guys and doing cycling classes and all that stuff. So I would still like go in, and like the team was gracious enough to like let me modify and teach like more walking classes, more hiking classes, which is now how I got into my deadly hikes that I teach. But slowly but surely, like I had to take time off. I had to be like, okay, well maybe I can't run marathons because I don't want to get surgery right now. Like, right now is not the time for me to get surgery on this, and like you never know. But I was like, maybe I can't run marathons right now, but who says I can't be a short distance girly pop? Who says I can't run a 5K real fast? So then I started focusing on that. I started running like 20 minutes twice a week, slow, just to see how my ankle would react. Also stability work, a lot of strength training, very important. And then I also started to slowly incorporate a little bit more. And even at work, like increase the intensity. So I would like run once at work and then once outside work, and that was it, like max 20 minutes. And then I slowly started increasing the time on my feet, and my body started reacting well. There were times where I took it overboard and I would wake up and I would be in pain, or I would be like limping, but I slowly just started to increase, and I actually ran 2 half marathons this year. And you PR'd. And you PR'd. No, it wasn't. You didn't? No. The second one. You did it so fast. That's not a PR for me. Oh, sorry. Fast runner. Well, she was way faster than me. Let me tell you that. Give yourself some credit, okay? You're fast.
Well, that's really great that you're able to share, you know, what got you through those injuries, because I'm sure our listeners as well have gone through them or are going through some. And like you mentioned, like setting yourself up for like a 5K or like 20 minutes. Like, guys, like do what you can with what you can. You don't always have to go for that half. You don't always have to go for that full. Like, listen to your bodies. Right. And if you're like limited in your lower body, there's a lot of upper body training that you can do. If you're limited in your upper body, there's a lot of lower body training that you can do using your body weight or modifying things. So just
try to find a way around it always, because there is a way for you to maybe you're like me, like I was like, I'm a runner, but maybe like running is not what my body is reacting to properly right now. Maybe I need to cycle. Maybe I need to do Pilates, yoga.
Love Pilates.
Yeah. So thinking about what you can do versus what you can't do is super important. Yeah. And also just like knowing that every single injury and every single like road is so different. And you talked about, you were telling me that you dislocated your shoulder once, right?
It's disgusting.
So painful. One time I was doing like snatches and I don't know what happened to my rotator cuff. I didn't like dislocate it, but I couldn't move my arm for 5 days.
Oh shoot.
Because something happened to my shoulder and I was like immobilized completely. Like a shoulder injury, like
it's so bad. Oh,
knocks you out.
Yeah, no, it does. Like you feel it when you're like breathing. It hurts so bad.
But you always come back.
Yeah, you do.
Never forget it.
All right, well, that's it on getting over injuries. And now we're going to talk to you in the segment that I love, which is called Hágame
Famosa, baby.
That's right. Where I leave you with my Rex in the world of sports and Cami leaves you with the Rex in the world of
music, baby. But Meli, tell us what's going on. What do we need to know right now in the world of sport?
So it is, well, the FIFA World Cup is about to kick off.
Meli is booked and busy this summer, let me tell you.
Yes, I am. Well, let me correct myself. There's a lot of soccer that is about to happen over the next year. And when I say about FIFA World Cup, that's next year. This summer is a FIFA Club World Cup. Yes. And it's literally about to kick off in just a few days. And guess who's going to be working it?
My girl, obviously.
That's right. Oh. I will be in the studio.
She called me. She's like, I'm not going to see you this summer.
I know, literally. I'm not, my life is going to be football like always this summer, but I'll see you after.
Yeah.
But the FIFA Club World Cup, it's 32 teams from all over the world that will be competing to lift the FIFA Club World Cup trophy. They are playing this tournament here in the United States. This is the first time FIFA Club World Cup will be competing like of this state. It's a tournament that has been done before with a lesser amount of teams and usually in December. And this is now created as a summer tournament by FIFA. And I think the most exciting thing about it is that you'll see clubs from around the world actually competing against each other. Because there's always been like, oh, who's the best club in the world? Is it Real Madrid? Is it Bayern Munich? Is it Manchester City? Is it MLS clubs? Is it South American clubs? Like,
which is the best club?
We're gonna find out. Oh, yeah, that's why the FIFA Club World Cup is about to start.
In your opinion, though? Too early for predictions?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll fill you in a little later.
It kicks off June 14th, so make sure you tune in. You can catch me covering a bunch of the games on TNT.
Okay.
So I'll be an analyst at the desk.
We gotta support my girl, you guys. We gotta tune in. We gotta watch her. I'll be yelling from my living room and recording you on the screen.
Will be.
Like
you will be. I love those videos, by the way. And whenever you guys tag me in them as well, those always make me so happy. Anywho, What about you, Cami?
So actually, I had the pleasure of meeting the one and only Gloria Estefan. I can't believe these words.
Who?
Gloria Estefan.
Girl, my inner child is like jumping, and also my mom would be crazy. Like she would go crazy if she met her.
Insane. And Emilio, who's an icon, by the way. I love him. So she's releasing a new album, which is insane because it's been so long since she's dropped an album. It's called Raíces. And it's pretty much taking things back to where they started, back to the roots. And the funny thing about this album, well, not funny, but interesting, is that Gloria mentioned, which I thought it was very respectable as a creative myself, is that she's like, I'm working on too many projects right now. Emilio called me and he was like, I want to make an album and I want to take it back to the roots. And she was like, honey, I'm working on so much. She's like on Broadway. They have a movie, I think, apparently coming out.
Okay.
And she was like, I will do it. And he was like, I'll write it. So he wrote the whole album for her.
Oh my God.
And there's love songs for him. No. I know one specifically in there that he wrote for himself. Oh. And you hear the lyrics and you're like, this is so cute. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, icon, write your own love song.
Yeah.
Like, you just got to tell communication. Oh. You got to tell them what they need to hear. And if they don't write the love song for you, you got to write it for yourself.
I wish I could write myself a love song. Could you write yourself a love song?
No.
Maybe we should try one day.
Yeah.
That's amazing though. Wait, so how was it meeting them?
Oh, they're just like pure professionals through and through. Like they are just so kind. so generous. Emilio Estefan pretty much called me a fetus, and I was like, "Oh my god,
fetus?
yeah!"
What does that mean?
He was like, you know, we hope to inspire the new generation of young artists and young people, and he went like this with his hand at me.
You're like,
and I was like, I was like, thank you, sir. I am a baby. You're right. Fetus right here. So that was really cute, and you know, apparently Emilio and Gloria take my classes. So
they do?
That was really sick. Yeah.
Are you serious?
And I was like, I know you. I was like, oh shit, that's crazy. My boy. He's part of the mafia. He's a perro responsable, you know.
Of course he is.
So that was a true honor.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah,
wow.
and I like recorded a TikTok with her, and I was like, I'm not gonna touch her unless she like touches me. But she went like this with her shoulder, and she started dancing on me. So I was like, well, let me spoon her real quick. So I was like, I like danced with her a little bit, and it was super cute.
That. The video was adorable.
Yeah, they're so nice, and honestly, the album is really great. It is really like a really amazing reflection of their music and the stories behind, you know, like the music videos and how she was inspired by her family's like family photographs. It's really beautiful to witness. So like once those music videos start dropping and once you start seeing those things, make sure that you go support, check it out, and spread the word, because honestly, like, is Gloria and Emilio Estefan, like,
their family's so talented. Even their daughter,
yes,
on the drums,
yes.
Beast. I remember watching like these YouTube videos of her on the drums, and I'm like, wow. I think she also sings. I'm like, dang, like they are a talented family. Yeah, that's amazing.
Talented family.
Cool.
Well, my girl, I think that's a wrap for this week's episode. Thank you for hanging out with us. Make sure that you guys drop a comment. Let us know what you want to hear. Keep messaging us. Let us know if you like the episode, who you want to have on the podcast next.
And make sure you hit the subscribe button too.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's important.
That's very important, guys. Thank you for subscribing.
And that was it. This is our episode of Hasta Abajo, Hasta Abajo, Hasta Abajo, Dale Hasta Abajo, Mami. Hasta Abajo is an iHeart women's sports production in partnership with Deep Blue Sports and Entertainment.
For more podcasts, listen to the iHeart Radio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.